Hi, I'm Hannah. I am a producer and a songwriter, and I'm a student at DBS. I like creating everything myself. I love having my own print on everything. I've created all of my own merch with my brother, and I've always created all of my own music videos with my friends. Very DIY as an artist, I'd say, and I taught myself production. I'd say that I'd kind of crafted my own style from that. I'm very oral with how I make my music, and I'm not by the book. I'm not very theoretical. So yeah, what sounds good is what I'll do, or weird. So I'd probably describe my music as electronic. It draws from jazz, ambient, folk, and as a whole, it's been described as folk-tronica. It's been described as left of centre music. So I started making music I think I started producing and recording when I was about 13, 14. But I did music GCSE, and I always sang, and I was in choirs, and I was doing theatre as well, so I'm from an acting background, so doing musicals and just having singing lessons, and I've sang my whole life. So all of those formative years kind of lead up to when I started actually recording, I guess. Actually, when I came to DBS, when I was about 19, started using Logic. And I didn't even realise that I was producing that whole time, which is kind of mad, but I had been producing and recording for years. I guess all of the terminology came to me when I came to uni, which gave me a bit of imposter syndrome, I think. So I was but also clarity. I was oh, I've actually been doing that for ages, and that's the word for that. I'm a producer. My creative process is influenced by what's happening around me. I think my last EP, Colours of Now and Then, I was in a very insular state, and I was very isolated, and I was in a state of grief. So that is basically what I channeled within that music. But more recently, because I've been rehearsing for tour, I've been making songs whilst I've been rehearsing for tour. So this is a new way that I'm now approaching music, is I'll be in the studio, and then I'm I don't know, I'll get up a sample, and then I'll start improvising over that. So it's all developing constantly. One thing that was life-changing for me was getting on the Saffron Records development scheme. So that might have been 4 or 5 years ago now. That was massive for me because we got to release an EP. It was the first time working with a label, and it's a team who are so supportive of whoever you are, whoever you want to be. Your vision is their priority, your safety, your intention. They just have such good intentions. So definitely being on the development scheme, because I love Saffron. They need to be talked about, and they need to be given their flowers, you know, they do so much for people. I'm going on tour. So going on tour in a week, which is kind of mad to think about. So that's something that I feel really proud of, taking this opportunity, feeling really scared, but doing it and putting my all into it. And I'd also say just generally, releasing music is a massive success story in itself. If you can just put out a piece of music, that's so vulnerable and hard to do. That's something that I'd say is something I'm proud of. My new song that's coming up is actually involving a lot more live instruments than just purely electronic stuff. So I think a moment that made me realise that I wanted to work with live instruments a bit more was seeing Katie J. Pearson at Green Man, and just being there's such a blend of and also Alice Phoebe Lowe, seeing those people working with synths and electronic stuff. I thought they look like they're having so much fun, and I can play, but I just need to practice and get better. So yeah, I'm forcing myself to play guitar on tour, which I'm kind of scared for. Singing and playing guitar is really hard, but I can only get better by doing it. The 2-year anniversary for my EP, Colours of Now and Then, was in October, and Solo was a single, and it's done really well, and it's got 1 million plays. I'm not really all about numbers, but for me that's something that's nice, like it's resonated with people. I wanted to give back to people who have played it and have streamed solo. So I said to Saffron, should we do like a celebration live lounge? And I thought, where can I do this? And thought of DBS. And they were just so supportive, like basically gathering like the community around me and reaching out, pulling favours and people coming together, and like basically it all came together with like a lot of love and intention, and yeah, it's turned out really great. We're hoping to get a headline show booked in London and in Bristol where we can curate. I want to curate like a show of, obviously I'll be headlining, but like my support acts will be people who like I love and I think should be, their voices should be amplified and they deserve to be heard. Also, obviously the new music and just like in general, what excites me is like the prospect that like there's more music that's unwritten and what that's going to sound like and where that's going to take me. I feel so happy when I'm like creating music. And then yeah, I got into DBS and like just from then, like everything was like something clicked and I've never looked back. Like it was like the best decision I've ever made was to come here and change my career path in that way, because it just, something clicked. I can't explain what, but yeah, there was definitely a moment where I was like, things started coming back to me and like positive things and more opportunities, and that was when I was like, okay, this is like something, I'm tapping into something here.